Hello everybody, it's me, Paul, with Reporting Live from my sofa. Today we are going to be talking about some updates, general commentary on the 3 Parent of the Year Award contestants. Y'all, we've got the Vallow and Daybell couple, we have got the Boswell family at this point, and we have Stauch. So let's go ahead and start off with Gannon Stauch, and now the luckily imprisoned Tecia Stauch. So as we know, as of this recording, he has not been recovered yet. Hopefully that will be coming down the pipeline. Now let's first talk about her extradition hearing. She went to the hearing, and y'all, I am sorry to say, she's looking rough. And I'm not saying that like in a petty way, but like when I was looking at her, I was like, this is a very disturbed person. Like when I looked at just the way she seemed to just occupy her space, if that makes sense, it was like, you could tell, oh my God, I can't imagine if I was Gannon or Young Child, whatever, and did something wrong, or she had a vendetta against you, or something like this. She honestly kind of reminded me a little bit of somebody in a famous movie we used to know. But anyways, now I really enjoyed the judge and his interactions with her. So basically he's explaining to her how the process works, and he's like, look, if you don't fight it, they've got like 20 days to come and get you. And basically he's like, to be quite honest, under the facts of this particular situation, I have a feeling it will be much shorter than that. And essentially he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't already in the air, but that's just me. He did say I have no factual basis for that. But basically, you know, obviously he's saying, girl, please, you are all over the damn news. They are probably waiting outside. And she did say, well, they were already here. They were the ones that arrested me. And or they were with them when they arrested me, or whatever. Now, but she does kind of sit there and say, and this is what I'm talking about when I say she just acted so disoriented. She was like, so you said about fighting it. What do I have to do? And she was just very odd. I mean, you know, as we already kind of knew, it's still the situation of me, you know, not being accountable. Now, obviously, anyone in this situation at this point is probably going to be best to talk to a lawyer and whatnot. And even that comes up, and he's like, well, what about your lawyer? He kind of cuts her off, and he's like, well, what do you want to do, young lady? And she's like, on the topic of the lawyers, she's like, well, I still haven't been given a chance to contact my lawyer or get up with them. And then the judge is like, well, now, where's your attorney? And then she's like, well, actually, I have to call my friend who has access to my attorney. And they said they were going to do it yesterday, but I guess they haven't. And this is, again, just in this trajectory. I have no doubt that that's probably true. But it's this trajectory of, I'm the victim, I'm being done wrong, so on and so forth. Just like we saw when she was doing the interviews, where it was like, well, I can't talk about Gannon, but let's talk about me. And so we're still seeing this play out. I mean, I just honestly think, I'm like, I can't imagine what that poor kid went through being alone with her. She sounds and looks like a completely vile human being. This is going to be such an interesting case if it goes to trial, which I'll almost guarantee you it will, because my opinion is she's going to go for insanity. She's going to go for something like that, but she is going to be like another Tim Jones Jr., one of these people that's like, I am not guilty, even if once we find out exactly what happened, if it's like 100% like, girl, you know, your palm prints on the wall, Miss Arias type stuff. So eventually the judge is like, look, if you want to fight this, it's like 90 days or whatever, you're going to sit here in jail waiting for your hearing, and that's time off the clock. And so it's almost like, okay, do I want to add 90 days to a lifetime sentence? So life plus 90 days. Okay, no, I don't want to do the extradition hearing. So, you know, I was just like, it's like, girl, just going back home. You know what I mean? Like, don't drag this out any longer, just go on and go. So that being said, at the time of this filming, she is actually spending the night in Kansas. They stopped and did a courtesy, you know, overnight stay. I would almost guarantee you she talked their damn ears off. They probably got halfway across the country and they're like, I can't. They're like, I just can't. I can't do it. Now also, this is like one of those things where remember, she's traveling, she's shackled up. Think of your worst car trip ever. So if somebody wants to like find some, you know, solace in knowing that she is being very uncomfortable during this. I can assure you that is going on. So we're going to stay tuned for that and just see what happens on that case. Again, it is going to be a pure tea you-know-what show from start to finish. Now, y'all, let's talk about little baby Evelyn Boswell, and essentially that whole damn family at this point. So Evelyn, at the time of this recording, has not been found yet. That has not happened. Now, her mother, Megan, went to court. Of course, she was like, oh my God, can I get a bond reduction? And the judge is like, oh my God, no. So there she sits. There she belongs. Y'all, this, again, it's another Casey Anthony. Inconsistencies, lies, the throwing parents under the bus, all this kind of stuff. So that's going to be another you-know-what show from start to finish. Now, one thing I do find interesting that I want to comment on a little bit is her mother and her mother's boyfriend. So her mother, Angela Boswell, is out of jail. She posted bond and agreed to wear an ankle monitor. The boyfriend, William McLeod, is still in jail. Now, recently they were both at a hearing. So during this, he's obviously in stripes. She goes in there and you can see when he comes in that he like blows a kiss to her, and I mean, y'all, there was nothing but plain fire and lust in his eyes. I mean, y'all, he was looking at her like, hey baby, when I get out of here, I'm taking you to the McDonald's at Walmart. You can get any damn thing off that dollar menu you want. I'm gonna treat you like a real lady. And she, maybe I didn't see her reaction, but she might have been like, okay, so there's that. But when she got up to talk to the judge, and he's like asking her about like, well, have you done this? Have you done that? And she was like, look, okay, I can't find a damn lawyer in this county. I'm having to go out of town, out of damn state, because this is some damn scandalous stuff surrounding this case. Then the judge a little bit later is like, asking her about work. She's like, I don't work. And he's like, well, maybe that's why the lawyers aren't calling you back, because they don't think you have any money. I love common sense judges like that are just like, oh, well, no, here's the reason, honey. Move it along. Now, both Angela and her boyfriend are scheduled to go again on March 24th. We'll see what happens with his case then. He asked for a bond reduction, but the preliminary hearing hasn't taken place yet, so the judge was like, absolutely not. But, they're trying to say, oh, we have witnesses that can prove this or that. I have a feeling he'll get out. So, I have a feeling he'll get out. We'll see what goes on with that, but on the 24th, most likely, I imagine he's going to strike some deal to get out. I think his bond's like $10,000, and he asked for a $5,000 bond, so we'll see. Now, let's talk about Vallow and Daybell. I've been following my friend Denise Rainey's channel on that, so definitely check her channel out. She's in it to win it. She does like updates on every aspect of this, major timelines, you name it. She is going for gold on this. Her link's going to be down in the description, so just check that out. But it's youtube.com/Denise Rainey. I wanted to talk about just a couple of things that have jumped out to me about this case, because as y'all know, if you're following this case is just like, what? Lori Vallow, mother of the year. She might take the cake in these three contestants here. We'll see. But Lori Vallow, as y'all know, she is being transported to Idaho to face her charges. She's supposed to go to the judge at like 2 p.m. on Friday. So we're going to see what happens with that. Now, she's going to be asking for a bond reduction there. I'm not sure why she keeps thinking if she just asks over and over, somebody will say yes. This might be a sign of like how life has been for her. I don't know. Now, let's talk about Chad Daybell for a second. So basically he told NBC, no, you know what? But for real though, the kids are okay. So I'm very curious to see if that's true. Now, all these people are coming out from the woodworks. And I mean, it's just interesting to me that it's happening that way, because obviously he's had these interactions and she's had these interactions, and people now are like, well, wait a minute, I interacted with them. So one of the recent ones was a lady on an airplane. She was on the same plane with Chad like September 19th. And, this is obviously interesting because this is a few days before things went down. And she's basically saying, look, we struck up this conversation. She had actually read some of his books. And I'm like, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? Like, what a small world, but it is what it is. Now, she said that he had made mention like, oh, I'm not really writing about end of time stuff. I'm going in a whole other direction. And I was like, God help us. If he says murder, mystery, or true crime, I am done. Now, also, his friends are coming forward and talking about like how things were just weird weird. I mean, like, they're like, yeah, after the death, the whole thing was rushed. I mean, within days, she's buried. You know, we went to the memorial and all this, and the casket wasn't even there. And I'm like, really? This is bad. You know, of course, he got that $500,000 policy, you know, right after. He had upped the ante on one of the policies before the death. So there's that. Another neighbor or friend was like, you know, I saw the kids, and they're like, Dad got married in Hawaii. And she's like, thought it was a joke, which, I mean, most of us would. They'd be like, oh, that's funny, you know, a little inappropriate joke, but I got it. And they're like, no, it's for real. He got married in Hawaii to some widow. That is bizarre. I mean, y'all, we already knew this, but it's bizarre. So all these people are coming forward. I am very curious to know if and when charges are going to be put against him. Because his whole ex-wife thing, I'm like, that just is not a coincidence. So as the world turns with all of these lovely characters. So that being said, that's all I have to say about these cases today. Tune in next time, y'all. We're going to be following them. Again, check out Denise's channel. Also, y'all, don't forget my other friend, Awen, who I did the podcast with. She is launching her channel. She's going in it to win it on there. She's going to be putting her story out there. It's an amazing story. It's called Toxic Bliss. That's the name of her channel. You can find it here on YouTube, and her stuff is down in the bottom in the description as well. She also does a Mindful and Fit episode or series that I enjoy following. I'm doing keto now. I'm trying to lose a little bit of pounds. So be sure and check that out too, as well as Denise's stuff. Anyways, that's it, everybody. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.